Hi everybody, my name is Jason. I'm with the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and I thank you very much for hanging out and reading along with this reading that we are doing right here, which is what we're going to title this is, these are essentially the wisdom and the words of our Messiah. And the wisdom and the words of our Messiah are amazing things, because when it comes to walking and understanding the Torah, there is nobody better fit to explain the Torah in a lot of different ways than the son of the creator of the universe, who actually had the laws, statutes, and commandments before creation was ever created. And so it is with this that we are going to be reading out of Yah Scriptures today. This is the end of this is the very end of the book of Yah Scriptures, and it is a very, very good book. The book is called the Book of Khalidi, or the Book of the Nazarene, however you would like to call it. But we are reading out of Yah Scriptures. We're actually reading out of the Google app version of this right here. And unfortunately, we're not available. We don't have the Google app version available right this moment. So without further ado, let us begin into this book. And then we're in the chapter 2, verse 1 of this. And as I go through this, I wanted to take time and discuss this, because we did a reading over this as a family a long time ago when we were first putting this out into Yah Scriptures. And it was amazing. It was a work of art then at that point. And the more I read through this particular book, the more understanding I get of my downfalls, the problems I have when I try to walk the Torah as I think it should be walked, and how the Son of the Most High tells us to walk this. And so let us begin right here, and this is the book. Joseph died when Yahushua was a youth, at that time working as a craftsman among the Kenites. And so this is, we don't have to get very far to have something to discuss in this entire thing, because this is the only time we actually hear of the father of our Messiah dying, or any part of his death. And I guess there's something that a lot of people don't understand, but the parent of the father of our Messiah was married to multiple women at that time. I don't know how many, but we do know for a fact he had other brothers. And so Miriam, because she was a virgin, we know that he did not go into her at any point, but we do know that there are other brothers with other women. And so a lot of folks have a tremendous amount of issues with things of this understanding, but this is the design of our Creator, how he wanted us to work and operate. So 2, after Yahushua had been away a long time, he returned to the house of his brothers. One day while he worked under the shade of the tree, they came to him and said, "Out in the wilderness by Yardeen, there is a man who cleanses people by immersion in water. He claims strange knowledge and calls himself the Forerunner. We're going to see what he teaches." And so for those who do not know, the Yardeen is simply the river. It's Yardeen. It's a popular river that's back in the days. Yahushua said, "I have heard of these things, and surely as the son of our forefather Yishai prayed to be cleansed of his secret faults and presumptions, the sons of our father should not stand aloof from cleansing. I will go with you." And so this is a lot of prophetic things. Not really prophetic, but this is a lot of understanding, is that John the Baptist, or who we're talking about here, the Forerunner, he was definitely the one who was prophesied, the Forerunner. And when we are talking about Messiah at this point in his life, he knows he's the son of the higher power. And these are things that we don't get from other scriptures. We don't understand when it was he understood or learned that he was truly the son of the creator of the universe in a lineage directly to him. So continuing on, Yahushua said, actually no, we're on 4. And that's where under the 3, where Messiah does know what his calling is and what he's supposed to be doing. 4, the brothers of Yahushua said, "This man is called Yochanan. He heralds the coming of an enlightener who will be an all-wise instructor in goodness. He himself does not bear this new light, which will dispel the darkness in men's mind. He tells of one who will grant men the privilege of becoming children of Elohim, awakening to eternal Kai, life, that part within them not born of earthly desires." So Yahushua and his brothers went out seeking Yochanan. John the Baptist again, finding him beside the Yardine at the place of crossing where there was a pool. The hairs on the head of Yochanan were already white. So, what we can see from this that we don't know exactly is how old is John the Baptist at this point. And if his hair's already white, I mean, there's a couple different things we could deduct from this. One is he could be like an albino guy, or he could be old. He could be really, really old. If your hairs on your head are white, this means Yochanan was older. And some people get white hairs early in their life, some get later. But he's an older guy. And so here we are, we have John the Baptist, and we have this encounter, one of the very first encounters of Messiah and Yochanan, the immerser. Yochanan, seeing Yahushua among them gathered about him, said, "Look, all of you, here he is, a man in whom there is no guile, the true Lamb of Elohim, the one we await. For Sethel, sending me forth to immerse, instructed me thus, when you discover a man worthy to be the receptacle of the Ruach HaKodesh in abundance, the same shall you acknowledge as the enlightener." And so this is John the Baptist, Yochanan the immerser, with the understanding of what his life's mission was. His life's mission was for this moment right here, where he is able to see the Lamb of Elohim. This is the child, the Savior, the one who is going to save all of us. And here he is right before him. And all his life, he just knew that he had to be the forerunner for this. He had to be the one that was paving the way, getting people's hearts ready for this moment right here. Hearing these words, Yahushua joined with those to be cleansed. But when he stood before the forerunner in the water, Yochanan said, "You have greater powers of cleansing than I, yet you come to me?" Yahushua replied, "The power to cleanse and revitalize with the Ruach is not in men, but in the Ruach which fills man. It is important each should be allowed to do whatever he is called upon to do." So here we have the encounter of Messiah and John the Baptist, and it's the same that we have read in regular scriptures before, that John the Baptist he's having an issue where he knows who the Messiah is, but yet he's the one responsible for immersing the Messiah. And so this is this same encounter that he has had right here. It's very interesting to note that on this encounter with Yahushua and John the Baptist, that one of the things that Messiah says in his wisdom is that he's talking about the Ruach HaKodesh and what fills a man and what doesn't. And he says it is important, each should be allowed to do whatever he is called upon to do. And that is really important because there's a lot of stuff that we can gleam and glitter from this particular book. And a lot of it is that a lot of us may feel insignificant in the roles that we have in the world, or we may feel like we're not being pushed to where we are complete. But it is the power of our Creator, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, that He builds men and builds them up for whatever roles they are to have. And as long as we are in covenant with our Creator, which is obeying His laws, statutes, and commandments, then we're going to have the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is going to guide us and to put us where we need to be. Going to 9. Yahushua asked of Yochanan, "What do you know about me?" And this is very, very crazy, right? Out of all of these people, this is what we know of as one of the very first encounters that they had. Minus when we know in regular scriptures that when Yochanan was in the womb and Miriam was there, that Yochanan jumped in the womb because Messiah had gone in. But this is before they ever physically had met to this degree. 10. Yochanan said, "Years gone by, I had a vision of 3 lights of the Shemaim. And as the sun sank, so they rose. A flame of fire went up over Jerusalem, and smoke filled the Hayekel, and a star fell down into Yehuda. The meaning I know, for it was this: the deliverer is born, and woe unto the house of Herodes, woe unto the scribes in your interpretations of the Torah. The star that appeared and stood over Jerusalem was a child, planted into Bethlehem, from out of the heights of the Shemaim, as was foretold, and it was Nabu. He would be the deliverer. The fire that burned was the fire of a strange altar. And again, for those who don't know, this is the correct pronunciation of Bethlehem that we know of. Also, when you nabu, that means you are prophesying, is what that is. And the Shemaim is heavens. So it's talking about out of the heights of the heaven, and it was foretold and it was prophesied that he would be the deliverer. 12. And again, Nabas, I prophesy, I Naba great things for you. You are the true bin of Elohim. And this is one of these things in the scriptures that John the Baptist is absolutely a witness, one of the witnesses of who our Messiah is. And it's not that he doesn't say right here, you are Elohim. He says you are the son of Elohim. And so when we get caught up into this believing of the Trinity and the believing that our Creator and the Son and the Ruach HaKodesh are all one big egg and it's just one big party with three separate people, but yet we all worship one as three, it's just a mess because we have witnesses statements in scriptures. We have what we need to get a matter established, and this is one of them where John the Immerser says you are the bin of Elohim. Soon you will see the glory of the Shemaim revealed, and the power of the Ruach HaKodesh will be poured out unto you as a stream of pure water. The time has come to proclaim yourself. Shalom, shalom on you, whom our Elohim has chosen as his messenger. For you will proclaim the true Besorah, the good news. Strengthen your heart, for the road ahead is steep and stony. No man is hated so much as one who tries to point out defects in character and attitudes and seeks to guide men along the path of right and beneficial living. So these are huge things, right? The Yochanan is talking to our Messiah, and he's boosting him up, right? He's telling him this is what you are. You know, strengthen yourself. Understand this is not going to be a good road. This is going to be a hard path. It's going to be steep, stony, and whenever we talk about a road ahead, those are hard roads to walk. And so this is part of the enlightening of our Messiah, is his coming into what he's becoming right now. Then Yochanan took Yehoshua down to the river and immersed him. And he was overshadowed by the Ruach HaKodesh and became fully filled with his power. So his face glowed. And the people wondered and were bewildered, for they did not understand. Yet the face of their forefather Moshe had also glowed after he had been in the presence of the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah. And so we have things that, again, we forget, right? They lived among a people that had the Torah. They had the books of Moshe. They had all the understandings of what happened when Moshe went up into Mount Sinai, when he was speaking with Yahuwah, when he was in the tabernacle of appointment. His face and his whole head was shiny. And we only have one other time when we have in scriptures, and when it was the birth of Noah, when Noah was shiny and very, very white. He was very, very different than the rest of what's out there. Sorry guys, the interruptions are dogs. For those who do not know, I have 9 pit bulls, and they seem to act bad when I'm trying to do these recordings. Okay, 14. Yochanan said, "Go and wait upon the mountainside nearby." Later Yochanan went to join Yahushua and told him that he was the anointed one, but should not yet make this known to the people. Then Yochanan prayed thus: "We give thanks, O Yahuwah, with souls purified through realization of our misdeeds and ruach, reaching upward to commune with you. It is by your power alone we have seen the light of truth manifested and come to know the secret of your hidden name. In humility we call you by the name of Father, because you have shown us a father's compassion and kindness, and because we know you chastise and discipline us after the manner of a father. You have granted us freedom of activity, that we may enjoy the baraka of Kai, the blessings of life. We have been saved by the waters of your affection. We approach you as the only good and great being, asking only that we be united with you in the waters of the Ruach and never become separated from the source of Kai, life." There's a tremendous amount of stuff to talk about in this particular verse alone, because this is true, right? We live in now a society that the name of our Creator has been hidden. Everybody knows him as God, and God is not his name. Yahuwah is his name. I am that I am. Yod-Hed Wav-Hed, or Yod-Hed Wav-Hed is the proper Hebrew lettering with this. And when John the Baptist is praying, this is yet another witness of how we pray. He did not say, we give thanks, O Yahushua. He said, we give thanks, O Yahuwah, with souls purified, right? This is what it's talking about. It's talking about a communication with our Creator using our spirit and the Ruach HaKodesh as the power that we are with our Creator. And it also gives us a little more understanding about showing us why they call him Father. Is the same reason that we have fathers, because they are the ones who take care of us. And just like a dad, just like a father that we know, our Creator guides us and walks with us and chastises us and will spank us to get us on the right path, especially if we are his people, especially if we are Torah keepers. Now, a tremendous amount of people say it doesn't matter what our Creator thinks, because they say the laws of our Creator are no more and they've been thrown away. And these are the people that our Creator and his Son will reject. According to the book of Matthew 7, they reject the lawless. Messiah tells them to go to hell. That's very clear in Matthew 7. You who are lawless are told to depart from me. There's no other way to say a nice way of saying go to hell except for depart from me. 17. This is how Yochanan testified concerning these events. On that day, the Ruach outflowing from Elohim came with a great surge of power. I did not know this man from others, but seeing him, I recalled what I had been told by those who gave me power to cleanse with water. They had said, when you find someone so filled with the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, he can hardly contain it. You will know him for one who will immerse with the cleansing power of the Ruach HaKodesh. I have experienced this power and testify that this man is the true Ben of Elohim, the enlightener and the deliverer. And back in the day, they didn't know if the enlightener and the deliverer were all the same individual. They know of prophets as enlighteners, and they know as those who are Yah's people as enlighteners. But as far as the one who was there to save them, they didn't know if that was all one and the same. Yochanan left Yahushua on the mountainside, where he stayed 3 days fasting and communicating with the powers above. Then he went back to the riverside. Yochanan was standing with two of his Talmudim, which are disciples. Yahushua was sitting apart, and Yochanan said to those with him, there is one giving himself as an offering of Elohim, the enlightener of the world and the deliverer of our people. So he continues on again and gives us the understanding of what his understanding was. And this is after a lifetime of praying, a lifetime of seeking our Creator, a lifetime of ministering to people and trying to get people on the right path. This is a huge endorsement. This is the endorsement of Yochanan. 19. Then the two Talmudim, the disciples, went to Yahushua and said, tell us about your teachings. Shall we follow your way or that of Yochanan? Yahushua said, there is the way of the wilderness, and there is my way, alike in teaching, but calling to different men. What Yochanan teaches accords with the Torah, even as my teaching. Obey either or both. They are the Torah. So this is one of these huge things that many people, especially in the Christian religion, don't understand, is that our Messiah taught the Torah. He didn't come to get rid of the Torah. It wasn't that when he was nailed to the tree that the Torah is gone. In fact, it brought the Torah to life. In fact, it showed us a tremendous amount of things, and it's our way. The only way that we are able to break the curse of spiritual death of the time when we are 3 years old that we put our hand in the cookie jar and steal a cookie, we are falling under the curse of the Torah, which is spiritual death. What our Messiah did was come and he broke the curse of the spiritual death so that we can approach our Creator, so that we can approach the kingdom to come, so that we can approach him, right? But what he's saying right here is he is definitely not saying the Torah is gone. And the question was the people that were disciples of John the Baptist, they were coming to him and they're going, your stuff seems different than what we know of with John's. But what Messiah clearly says is that if it teaches according to the Torah, it doesn't matter whose teaching it is because it all leads to the Torah. So that's very important that everyone understands that Messiah did not come to get rid of the Torah. 21. From that day forth, Yahushua had power to heal the sick and do many things, but he went out into the wilderness bordering Yarden, uncertain about his next move. While there, hungry and thirsty, he fought with the flesh, resisting the temptation to go down among the habitations of men and use his powers for selfish ends. So this is stuff that a lot of people may have a problem with because they don't realize that the Messiah of the world walked these lands as a man, and he had these same kinds of issues we do. He gets hungry, he gets thirsty, he sees the beauty of women, he sees all of these things that are around us that we are told to contain ourselves with. It's not like he has superpowers. He does have superpowers, but as far as this human side, he is not allowing this to happen. Right here, when he was hungry or thirsty, all he needs to do is turn a stone into some delicious bread. He knows about the food of the Shemaim of heaven. He could have angels bring him the most delicious stuff that we've probably never even heard of on a platter, piping hot. But yet he went and he was fighting these manly human issues as he was showing us that you can resist the devil, you can resist the evil, you can fight this human nature that we all have for the glory of the kingdom and for the glory of our Elohim. 22. The same Ruach of Yahuwah, which overshadowed Yahushua, overshadowed the creation. It enlightens our outer darkness and bestows Kai and is eternal. You know, what a profound thing, right? The spirit of Yahuwah, which overshadowed Yahushua, overshadowed creation, right? Every time you take a breath of air in, every time you see the beautiful rain or the sun, the moon, the everything around us is built by the power of our Creator. I believe every time that we take that breath of air in, we are breathing in a piece of creation, a beautiful thing that our Creator has given to us, and His hand is on everything. And for those who think that our Creator isn't watching every move that you make, that we make, that all of us make, that is why the earth is His footstool. That's why He made us into a little terrarium that we can sit here and we can live our life with free will. And with that free will, we can either choose our Creator or we can choose the devil. Choosing our Creator means that we are obeying what He says in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That's called the Torah. That's called the law. That's what our Messiah is pushing, and that's what He wants us to keep as well. It's very, very important. Now, finishing on, 23, Yochanan was one of those who can see the Ruach of men. So he knew the nature of Yahushua. These things took place at Bathsheba, which means place of crossing, which is very interesting because there's no biblical account for anything we should ever be called, right? We're not called to be Mormons, Catholics, Christians, anything, right? Our father Abraham, who was not a Jew, there was no such people as Jews. The only thing that he was ever called in Scripture is called a Hebrew, and that means crossing over. And that is what our forefathers did. Abraham came out of the land of the pagans. It came out of like many, many gods, many, many evil things over there. He crossed over, which is what we are supposed to do. When we come into covenant with our Creator, when we decide to keep His laws, statutes, and commands, when we have the faith of our Messiah, Yahushua, that is what crossing over is. And that is what this entire walk is. This walk is not a get on your knees and pray one day and live like the world. This is a daily walk. We are told that the Torah should enwrap us, that it should embrace us, that we should rise to it, that we should go to bed to it, we should discuss it with our children. It should be as frontlets on the front of our eyes. It needs to be on the doorposts of our house. It needs to be everything in our life. We need to make sure that we are living the Torah, not just understanding it, not just reading it, but that we are living it and that our lives are in accord with this, because this is what the kingdom people are going to look like. The kingdom people are a group of obedient people that haven't forsaken the laws of our Creator. They haven't said all food has been made clean. They don't worship on the wrong day, of which is a Sunday. The covenant people of our Creator look different, smell different, taste different, and they are completely different because we are under a set of guidelines happily. And it's not It's not bondage. It's just it's an amazing thing to be under covenant with our Creator. So with that, guys, we hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you much for listening. We love y'all, and we're out.